everyone to our live webinar on teaching phonics in the classroom. This webinar is going to be recorded, and anytime during the webinar, if you have any questions, please pop them into the chat box and we will have some time at the end for Q&A. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land I'm on today, the Wangal people of Eora Nation, and pay my respect to the elders past and present. I also want to extend that respect to the traditional custodians of the land across Australia, the history, lands, culture, and stories. For those I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, let me introduce myself. My name is Eileen. I'm the Head of Membership and Operations here at PETAA. It's my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Ingrid, who is PETAA's PL Curriculum Coordinator. Ingrid has been working with children in the education for close to 15 years and is very passionate about igniting a love of reading in children. I'm sure you're here to all hear from Ingrid, not me, so I'm going to pass the mic to Ingrid now.
Thank you very much, Eileen. So as Eileen has said, my name is Ingrid. I'm the PL Curriculum Coordinator here at PETAA. And this afternoon, I'm going to be speaking to you about teaching phonics in the classroom. So aim of our session this afternoon is to give a brief overview of phonics and then move into how PETAA can support you with teaching phonics in your classroom. So what is phonics? Phonics is the matching of sounds, also known as phonemes, to letters, which are graphemes. It is also the term used for the teaching of reading and spelling by learning about the relationships between letters and sounds. Phonics instruction involves explicitly teaching students about the 44 sounds in English and the various ways that these can be represented by the 26 letters of the alphabet. Phonics instruction is an essential part of teaching students to read. And it's crucial for young readers to understand phonics in order to be able to decode words and access quality texts. So when we are looking at phonics and phonics instruction, a systematic synthetic phonics approach is strongly recommended. So I'm going to refer to it as an SSP from now on. So an SSP progression is a sequence of letter-sound correspondences. These are also sometimes known as grapheme phoneme correspondences, or you might hear the term GPCs. And these cover the 44 phonemes in the English language. The sequence is designed so that each letter-sound correspondence can be taught explicitly and directly, which allows students to build their knowledge of the language code sequentially while developing skills to read and spell simple words and sentences. So as each letter-sound correspondence is explicitly taught, students are given the opportunity to learn one new concept at a time and integrate this new knowledge with letter-sound correspondences that they have already learnt. So when we are looking at an SSP approach, there are so many scope and sequences available. Everywhere you look, you will likely find one. But research has failed to identify one best one or one that is more effective than another. What we do know is whatever scope and sequence that you choose, it has to be implemented systematically. So as a teacher, you can't have a look at 5 different scope and sequences and pick a little bit from each one. You just need to implement the chosen sequence, as this ensures the systematic teaching of the required GPCs, which are needed to develop the decoding skills. So while, as I said, there is no best sequence or number one sequence for the teaching of letters and sounds, there are some research-based criteria that we know you should keep in mind when you are picking your sequence. So what you need to keep an eye out for is that you are introducing single letter sounds first before you are progressing to the more complex code of digraphs and trigraphs. We begin with a small set of letters that can be combined to make a number of simple VC or CBC words, and this helps with blending and segmenting. When we are introducing letters, we are looking at introducing at a rate of 3 to 6 a week and continually building on what students already know. So that constant revision and going back over the letters that have previously been taught. We teach high frequency letters first, and we separate the visually and auditorily similar letters. What I have included next is an example of an SSP progression. So this is a screenshot that I have taken from the Literacy Hub phonics progression. So the Literacy Hub is funded by the Australian Government Department of Education. It includes a sequence of letter sound correspondences and phonics skills for students from foundation to year 2. So the way that the Literacy Hub has created their phonics progression is into 24 phases. My next example is from the Phonics Plus program. So Phonics Plus is a program that provides schools with a comprehensive approach to teaching reading using the evidence-based SSP approach. So this particular program and scope and sequence is from the Victorian Department of Education. So this one provides a progression of graphemes and their corresponding phonemes. And these GPCs are organised into 36 sets of code. So that's how the Victorian government has referred to theirs, whereas we saw previously in the Literacy Hub, they had the 24 phases. In this particular program and from the Victorian Department of Education, they have recommended that you have 25 minutes of daily explicit phonics instruction. So that will come into play a little bit later in my talk, or right now. So phonics instruction is an important part of daily literacy instruction. So when you are planning your phonics instruction, looking at your lessons, there's 4 key strategies that have been shown by research to be the most successful and most effective in phonics instruction. So firstly, you must ensure that your instruction is explicit, systematic and thorough. So that links back to our SSP approach of explicit and systematic. Research has shown that having multiple years of phonics instruction is better than single years. So that foundation, again in year 1 and again in year 2, is proven to be more effective. Including the opportunity to decode and encode, so that consistent revision of segmenting and blending and practicing that in every lesson. And finally, the last part is that it should be brief. So we're looking at about 15 to 20 minutes of your literacy block, which, as I said, the Victorian government has recommended 25. So obviously, based on your context, you'll adapt to suit your needs. So phonics instruction should be integrated with the use of authentic quality text. So whatever you're doing with your phonics instruction, we should be looking at always enhancing that and supporting that through quality text, as this will help with developing vocab, fluency and comprehension. So this is where PETAA can help you. So we've got so many PETAA resources available. What I have included this afternoon is just one select piece from a range of resources that we have. So the first resource that I'm very proud to share, I'm very fond of, is our authentic text to support teaching phonics. So just as I said, we should always have authentic text, whether it's teacher read aloud, access for the children in the library. Children should always have access to authentic and quality text. So even when you are having your phonics instruction, this can be linked to quality text, and this particular guide that we have put together maps high quality text to the Literacy Hub phonics progression that I showed from the federal government. So in the guide, it is aimed so that whatever letter or letter sound correspondence that you are teaching for that day or that week, we have actually found matching text for you, for a read aloud, for access for the children, so that they have that supporting quality literature. The books are 95% from Australian authors, and we've got a strong contribution from First Nations authors. Each of the texts that we have selected have multiple examples for each correspondence. So I can already see on the screen, the letter sound correspondence is the sound S, and the book we've chosen is The Beach Wombat, and we've got sun, squeaky, sand, smoke, sky. So there's multiple examples to support that teaching of that S sound. Where applicable, we've also added in a curriculum unit that PETAA has created. So on your screen now, we have the truck cat as one of our examples for the D sound, and we have a unit of work to go alongside with truck cat. The way we have designed this guide is that it can be edited and adapted to suit your context. So you can pop onto the PETAA site and download it, and it will come to you as an Excel document. So if you are using a different sequence of sounds, you can change this to suit your setting. So you don't have to follow this exactly as it comes to you. If you're using the Literacy Hub phonics progression, then it's very easy. Next up, we have the PETAA paper 221. So this is titled Making Sense of the Reading Models. This is written by Dr. Bronwyn Parkin. This paper has just gone through a significant update early in May to make it more in line with the most up-to-date evidence around the teaching of reading. So in this paper, what Dr. Parkin has done is examined the most popular models of reading and looking at them from the perspective of the broader context of language development, seeing how the models fit with each other, and then looking at their strengths and limitations. I think it's a fantastic paper for early years teachers, for teachers that are just starting out in their career, but also for anyone that wants to see what's happening with the different reading models, and a great comparison, especially with its fresh update. The next PETAA resource that I have shared today is a video, and it comes from a presentation in our 2022 conference. So this was presented by Melanie McDonald, who is from the Queensland Department of Education Teacher Learning Centres. The presentation is called The What, How and Why of Phonological Awareness. I thought this was a particularly great presentation if you are looking to find out more information about the difference between phonemic awareness and phonics, but also how they support each other. Melanie also covered the relationship between phonemic awareness and phonics, and a reflection on the continuum of phonological and phonemic awareness. And looks at phonemic awareness in action and what resources can support student development. It's a 45-minute video, well worth the watch. The next PETAA resource that I have on the screen is some of our curriculum units. We have so many fantastic curriculum units on our member portal. The 5 that I have shared on the screen have a phonics focus within the unit. So I have got one example here. This is the truck cat I mentioned just before. And the truck cat was written by Deborah Frankel and illustrated by Danny Snell. It is shortlisted for the 2025 CBCA Picture Book of the Year, and it's also the 2025 National Simultaneous Storytime, which is held by the Australian Library and Information Association, which is next Wednesday. So our unit of work is fantastic. It's free for members and non-members. It can be downloaded currently. And the particular lesson that I have pulled out from this unit of work is a phonics lesson. And it teaches students that one sound, which is the k phoneme, can be represented by different letters or letter combinations. So a really hands-on, explicit task. We've got differentiation built in to enable and extend students. We've got key questions and guiding questions. So I thought this particular lesson was fantastic to show what PETAA has in terms of teaching phonics. Another example that I have shared is from a book called Anchored, and it's written by Deborah Tidball and illustrated by Ariel Lee. It's a 2024 CBCA notable book. So PETA's unit of work for this particular text actually has two really great phonics lessons in it. These are for foundation students, and they teach students how to use their knowledge of letters and sounds to spell words. I will just pop back for 1 second just to mention the other ones. I haven't got a screenshot from them, but we do also have curriculum units for Bear and Duck are Friends for foundation, for Snap for foundation, and Jenny Jumping for year 1 and 2. So they are the curriculum units that I said have a specific phonics focus inside the unit. The final PETAA resource that I would like to share this afternoon is our fantastic professional learning courses. We have a suite now of over 60 courses available for members and non-members. So the 3 courses that I have on the screen, we've got using decodables to support early reading. We've got the explicit teaching of phonics using authentic text, which if you were looking at that course would have a brilliant link to the document I shared earlier with that sequence of authentic text to match the phonics progression. And the last one, I'm sorry, I have to move myself, is the English and Literacy block for years F to 2. So lots of our courses cover a range of things. These particular courses I've just pulled out as they do have that phonics included with either a specific focus or a really detailed outline inside. So I've flown through that. I'm already up to any questions. I've got my email there if you have any follow-up questions after. You are more than welcome to email me, but we'll see if we have any questions. Okay, it's Eileen saying if you have any questions. Thanks, Eileen.
I can't see anyone any in the chat, but if they want to unmute themselves, they can you can ask Ingrid questions as well.
If you need any links, you can email me and I can link you anything that I've spoken about today. If you'd like that phonics authentic text document, please let me know. They're all available on our members portal, but I'm more than happy to send
I can actually show everyone where to find it right now.
Would be brilliant.
So we do have some non-members on this webinar as well, just so to accommodate to them. I want to show everyone some changes that we made on the main website and on the member portal on how you can find everything that Ingrid just mentioned on this webinar and more. So for our main website, and as you can see, we have released a National Teaching of Reading Survey just last week. If you haven't received a copy, you can download it from the main website. And they are data collected from 500 teachers around Australia, how they teach reading. The survey reveals strong confidence, knowledge, and wide use of evidence-based practices. So, however, we have also found that teachers are under pressure, as we know, and need system-wide support. Have some time, please share with your colleagues, or there's some recommendations at the end of reports for your school as well. So feel free to download from the main website. Now, the What's New page on our website, you'll see what PETAA has planned for the next spring term, I guess, until the end of the year. And members, you can see what's coming up as well. And what new text we have coming up, the teaching writers, is one that we're very excited to be released next month. New curriculum units on the way to be published, and all the webinars upcoming as well. As a non-member, we also have resources that's open access. So you just go to resources for teachers, and you select the open access page. This is everything that we have available for non-members. And as Ingrid said, I believe the phonics, here we go, authentic text to support teaching phonics is in here, and you can download as well. And this page is regularly updated, so as we have more resources for non-members that we release. For our members, now what we need to go is the member portal, okay, and that will take you to member exclusive portal, and the buttons are blue. So if you're on the blue page, that means you're on the member resources portal. And we have made some massive changes to how you can filter and search for resources. We get feedback from members, oh my God, you have so much available resources, but how do I find what I need? So this is what we've done. So I guess taking phonics example, when you come to the resources unit page, if you select topic, phonics, this is everything that we have available on phonics. That includes the paper from Bronwyn Parkin, that's right. That was just updated. The paper's here. The guide, the authentic text guide is here. And all the units, past conference presentations, even some book chapters that you can use practically in your classroom is also listed. Now, this is all available for our members. And so as you can see, the units are here, and some of the webinars that the authors has held the webinars for the units, we also post them here. Now, once this webinar is recorded and available, it will also be available on this page when you select phonics. And as you can see, that we can't see TrackCat here, or we're working on that. We don't know why it's not showing up. However, you can also filter the categories of our resources by curriculum units. And I believe TrackCat's for year 1. We select year 1, and you can see TrackCat's available here. You might also be looking for a curriculum-specific unit that you want to use for year 1. Let's just say science. And here are all the authentic text units with a cross curriculum of science that you can use and download. And all our curriculums are mapped to the Australian curriculum codes, New South Wales syllabus, and the Victoria Curriculum Code 2.0. And this free version that you can download it as well. Something I guess special about PETAA is our focus on First Nations text. And we really believe having a having the First Nations rich text in the classroom really helps our students understanding the histories and the backgrounds of First Nation studies. So when you go to topics and select First Nations text, these are all the units that we have on First Nations text, as well as let me just clear the filters here. As well as you'll see some webinars that we've held with the First Nations authors like Adam Goods and other authors will be listed here. Oops. Just a bit slow at the moment. Now, if you are looking for the professional learning course that Ingrid has mentioned, if you hover over to professional learning, all courses. And once again, you can search for online course, or online courses are available for 12 months. You can take any time at your availability. And if you select the topic of let's say reading, we have quite a few courses that we put up in the new program. PETAA course, I believe, here we go, the explicit teaching of phonics and using authentic texts that Ingrid has mentioned, the courses listed here. And if you are a professional learning, a PL subscription member, that means all these online courses, or over 60 of them, are available for you as part of your PL subscription. Right, does anyone have any questions so far about the resources? If you're not sure whether you are a PETAA member or which category of PETAA member you are, send me a quick email. I'll pop, Ingrid, do you mind popping the info email in the chat box for me? So if you just email info, and I'll get an email and I'll respond to you and check your membership status for you as well. Okay. Thank you, Ingrid. Well, thank you everyone for making the time to join us this afternoon. Like I said, if you have any questions for Ingrid and myself regarding membership, regarding what resources available, or even if you have a specific literacy question that you want to implement in your school, in your classroom, reach out to us anytime. We're more than happy to help. We have a team of professionals in the office, not myself included, but Ingrid and our head of professional learning is more than happy to help you out. All right, thank you everyone for your time. And once the recording of this webinar is available, we'll let everyone know too. Thanks,
everybody.